Okay, how's it going? My name's Daniel, and I'm gonna edit this raw file. Really like this raw file. Landscapes are really cool. I'm noticing a lot of stuff. I did just actually edit this image, and I did a screen flow, and I did not like it at all because I tried to run an HDR, and this part right here, for some reason, was coming out way too. Well, I'll show you how it came out. It was coming out too gray, and I think the HDR was messing with that. So I'm not going to do an HDR today. I have majorly messed that image up. So reset, reset, keep hitting reset. Okay, so this is how it came out of the D90 at the 42 millimeters that it was taken. I was commenting on my last video that I'm not going to actually post. That probably the reason why this person didn't shoot any wider was that, well, first of all, this is what they saw as the perfect image, even though it is cropping, which is cool. And also that this was probably just going to get more and more into the frame as he tried to get his tree in there. So, you know, I'm not a stickler like good old Jared about everything has to be. I don't want to say everything has to be perfect, but he is very in his critiques. You can find something wrong just about any photo, but I understand why he's doing that. It's to make me better, to make us better, and and teach us photography. That's how I learned photography, was through Froknowsphoto back in the day whenever I was YouTubing it. And other friends that I made. I'm looking at this chromatic aberration. Other friends that I made that also are into photography. But anywho, okay, so this image is clipping. Sorry about the dogs barking. My neighbor's dog always barks. It's clipping. That's okay though, because I think this is snow, some kind of glacier or something. I didn't notice that just until now. Way cool. Alright, so instead of doing HDR, I'm going to process it um, just a different way. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to apply a gradient. Now the gradient that I probably have it on is softened skin. Yes. Notice all the loss of the details. I'm going to burn it. Maybe bring some details back by lowering the exposure of mainly this part and a bit of this part. Not too worried about the bark, although if I was using Nikon's control points, I would probably avoid the tree and just do this area right here. Alright. So, another thing that I can do, see that little red right there? I'm going to pump the saturation of that. No, wait. Come on. That, I guess it's kind of orangish. Really. Okay. So we're pumping the reds just a hair. Always be wary of pumping the red saturation because it'll throw you off on your histogram. You'll look at your histogram, ask yourself why are you clipping, and it's because there's a lot of red in your photograph. You always want to stop it down a third of stop if you're shooting like a red flower in macro photography. Just because red, I think it's because red is the longest wavelength that when it hits that sensor, it clips. I'm not sure why, but I'm pretty sure it's because of the nature of the actual wavelength itself of the color red. So I'm gonna get rid of the chromatic aberration in case I wanted to blow it up real big. You don't want to have that, I guess, So we're gonna go toward the red first. See, where I'm looking is right here. It's purple So I'm going to have to remove or put some red in there to get that blue out. Then I'm also going to have to put some yellow in there to get some of that blue out. Pushed it too far. There we go. That's perfect right there. And you just mess around with those. You never know which way to go, but eventually you can usually get it right. Now, there's not a whole lot of blacks, if any. I don't remember there being any. So here are my blacks. That's my blackest point right there, that little black thing. We want to add some blacks. Not that much. It's good. Already tried recovery. It just takes away from the image, really. Pretty sure. Yeah, we want those whites to pop. Okay. The temperature, I'm going to bump it a little bit. Not that much. I'm going to go at 5,000. Yeah, that looks good. I'm also going to use a dodge. And because if you notice right here it's very bright, right here it's not so bright. So we want it to be uniform. So I'm just going to dodge just a little bit. Hold down O. See what I'm doing. Okay. There's my O. Yeah. Almost like Microsoft Paint. Or Photoshop or something like that. Alright. So my computer is going really slow because, as you'll notice, it's actually in Camtasia. It's still processing the video I just had. Just bump that exposure just a little bit. Alright, so the white is uniform across. Now what we can also do is close it out, reopen it. Our effect now is going to be, I could burn right here to get a little bit more, but then the snow's going to look weird. So I'm going to do a contrast, and I want to make my contrast really high, like in the 40 range, and just give this part under the clouds some more contrast. Particularly this part right here. Like those mountains kind of pop. Actually, I want my saturation to be a little bit more too, just a tad. Now it's really starting to pop. I'm liking that a lot. Fill light. I'm noticing the need for fill light because it's just looking a little bit weird. Okay, that looks good. If we hit the vibrance up just a little bit, kind of starting to look a little fake. Push back on the vibrance. This is definitely a picture that I would leave the vibrance alone, I guess, and throw a vignette on there. In our shadow, let's just give it a little bit more. I don't want it to look too flat. And I am going to crop. Reason being, top of this mountain and where this little line right here, I'm seeing a little bit better of a well-composed image. Now that's just my opinion. And I want some of that granite on the left side. But I want that whole mountain. Definitely want the rocks. Yeah. It's good. It's good. Alright. Before I do that, I'm just going to try a split tone. We're going to have our highlights have a dark, I'm sorry, yeah, we want our highlights to have this kind of bluish color. I'm going to turn way down on the saturation. I'm not about over yet. Actually, you know what? Since there's so much blue in those highlights, why don't we add a little bit of orange? Or no, more red, really. There we go. Okay. Pull back on that saturation. Saturation of 5. Because we want to get these rocks that are blown out and also these mountains to look more granity. And then something that looks really close to gold in the shadows. Yeah, that's good. Give it that kind of old dome look, I guess. Just a touch of that. Why did my computer's running so slow? It's starting to make me mad. Color is granite. Kind of that color. Our shadows. Why does it keep doing that? Hold on. Alright, so I figured it out. What I'm actually just going to do is, for my highlights, I just want to bring some gold into these mountains. So what I did was I just basically came in here, put the saturation at like 97%, 96%, and it looks great. I'm not even going to do a shadow one. And I want to sharpen the heck out of it. Alright, looks good. Don't need any masking whatsoever. It's looking golden. And we are done. Except for our vignette. Not that much. Slight vignette. Midpoint. Definitely wouldn't need it over here. Nice. Okay, I'm thinking that gives it a lot of not flatness in the image. I know that was a very technical term. And yeah, I don't care that I'm clipping. So, my name's Daniel. Thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of it. And I'll see you next time for the next Raw Edit of the Week. Till then, maybe I'll do a photo of my own. Alright, you guys have a good day.